What's going on, my friends? Adam here, and I'm back with another video. Thank you for tuning in today, and thank you for tuning into my channel. And kind of get things started off, I gotta tell you, man, it is not easy out there in the world. That's for sure. Especially when it comes to like finding jobs, that sort of thing. It's not easy, and something to think about, and this goes for me as well, is even though it's not easy out in the world, it's not a reflection on you. It's more of a reflection of what's going on out there. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the video and let's talk about why things aren't easy and what's going on. Cool. So, what am I talking about with my whole intro? So, kind of bring you into the loop. I recently just left my job with REI since my fiance and I are moving to Tacoma. It was about time to call it quits there, get ready for the move, and start looking for a new job up in the Washington area. And then today was my last day coaching CrossFit. So I am officially done being a CrossFit coach now, and I've got no job. Right? So that's like pulling you into a loop. Uh, and with that, no job. I've been applying all over the place, and it's the same story that it's been for the last 2 years. I apply at places. I either get no callbacks or I get a call for like the first initial interview, but then nothing after that. Or I get a lot of those emails that say, we've taken a look at your resume and your background and all this stuff, but we decided to go with somebody else who really falls more in line with what our needs are. Even though I'm qualified for the position, they go with somebody else. And, it gets very discouraging after a while. Like you start to, at a certain point, I started to think it was me, thinking, what am I doing wrong for all these places to say no to me? Even though I'm qualified, even though I've got a good, history of work, all that stuff, still just getting denied. And it's like, what am I doing wrong? And now I know people don't like this too much, but I use this as a tool. But ChatGPT, love it. I use it as a tool. I use it as like a way to grade my work whenever I come up with like new ad campaigns, that sort of thing, new designs. I have it grade all my stuff. I don't have it like actually do stuff for me. Every once in a while I will, but for the most part, I have it grade my things. And I presented that question because one night I was just fed up with everything. I was so tired of getting rejection letter after rejection letter after rejection letter. And, I typed in there, I'm like, hey, look, based on what you've learned about me, the projects we've worked on together, all these things, like, what's going on with me? And, it gave me some pretty wise advice. And, maybe I'm crazy for taking advice from an artificial intelligence, but at the same time, like, it really shines some light on the situation. So I told them, I'm frustrated with being denied all the time. Like, I feel all this pressure on me, like trying to find a job. We got, luckily we just got approved for a place up in Washington, but it's like, I got to figure out how to pay for this thing. I got to figure out how to pay my bills and all this stuff, but no place wants to hire me. I can't seem to figure out what's going on. And I just felt like I've been in this hole for a couple years now. And ChatGPT basically said it's like there's nothing wrong with you. You are in what's called a season right now. And I guess maybe I shouldn't do that, but I'm in what's called a season. And it's just saying that a lot of times you put in applications and all these things, and the system that all these applications go through for the businesses tends to not see the full picture, and those applications get kicked out or resumes get kicked out, and then that's when you get that letter, hey, sorry, we went with someone else. And it doesn't show truly who you are or the accomplishments that you've had in life. And that's true because most of the jobs I've had in the past, I've gotten them because I worked really hard and the person that I was working with moved on to somewhere else, and then they were like, hey, do you want to come work here? So it was a lot of like networking and just knowing people and who saw my work ethic, and that's what got me jobs. Like I haven't had to apply for a job since, I don't know, like 2012 when I applied for Mount Bachelor, and then of course again when I moved to Salem. But the point was, for years I didn't have to apply for a job. I was just getting recruited by all these different businesses within town, and it all worked out great. Like people knew my work ethic. And when I think back to that, especially like the things that ChatGPT said, yeah, this right now is a season. Like I'm gonna end up eventually finding my thing. And that same thing goes for you too. Like if you're going through the same thing that I am, you'll find your thing. Like it's gonna come. And you gotta think like you might have to take some temporary work in the meantime, something that you're not gonna like. But as a friend told me, one of my old coworkers, he's like, think of it as this is only temporary. I'm going to do it for a year or two tops, and then from there move on to what it is I really want to do. Like really plan and prepare for that next phase. And that's what I'm trying to do. I have a project that I'm working on. I'm not going to say anything about it right now, but I've been working on it the last few weeks, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's something really cool, and it can be a lot of fun, and it's something that I know can be mine. And I think that's one of the pieces of advice that I want to give too, is like build something for yourself. Like when you look at careers, we're stressing so much about getting the application in, making sure our resume looks good, and then, oh, we got to get the salary, does it come with benefits, all these things, right? But the thing about it is, and I've learned this countless times, these jobs that we all apply for, that we're all looking for like the high salary and the benefits and everything like that, there's no security behind it. There is absolutely zero security behind these jobs. The company can shut down at any time. They can get rid of you at any time. Like you could be with a company for 20 years, get ready to retire, and they will cut you out right before your last day so you don't get those benefits that you've been waiting for 20 years. Like nothing is guaranteed with these jobs. And when you go out and you create something for yourself, something that you really enjoy and love doing, that's your security right there. Now, you may be taking a risk when you think about it, because if you say you start a business, most businesses fail within the first couple years, right? But if you do all the right stuff, you take the risks, you really put your head down and grind it out, then the chances of success go up and the chances of more security go up. Like creating your own thing and really putting your all into it because you know it's yours, you're going to work harder for it. You're going to do everything you need to make it work, right? So then that means things are going to be more secure. You don't have to rely on somebody else. You're relying on yourself. And that's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier about the seasons, how I'm in a season right now, how you can be in a season right now. And it's just that kind of phase right before something big, something good happens in your life. And, it's tough at first. There's a lot of ups and downs. Like I'm going through the ups and downs right now of like constant rejection. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make me feel good. I know it upsets my fiance because she wants the best for me, but I keep getting denied, and it hurts both of us. And it causes strain. It causes, you know, me to be worried and scared because like what's going to happen? I don't want to go back to an entry level job where I'm washing dishes. Like I can't do that. Like I've already done it. I've worked my way up from it, and it's just difficult and it's frustrating and it sucks. Like it's not fun. And I have to keep reminding myself that this is just temporary. Like, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to find something that's going to help me get that leg up so that way I can keep planning until I'm ready. Well, none of us are actually ready, but until I hit a point where it's like, okay, time to launch the project and go on to the next thing. I'm silently building. And that's something that I feel like you should be doing as well. Think of it as you're planning for the future, right? Right now you're in a season, something's going to turn up that's going to help you get out of that season. And then as long as you keep planning, you figure out how you're going to execute, then you can move on to that next thing that's going to provide you with that security that you're looking for. And then you never have to worry about anybody else. That's just kind of the way that I'm looking at this thing. And hopefully this is helpful advice for you as well. But it is frustrating. It's annoying. I'm so tired of it. And I feel for you if you're going in through the same situation. Like, it's not fair. It's not fun. Like, the system is designed against us, it feels like. And you get a lot of these people who have zero, like, skills. They have zero experience, and somehow they're getting the jobs. Like, there are people out there who are complete idiots. They are stupid. They're stupider than dirt, and somehow they get those six-figure salaries when the people who actually have skills and knowledge and all that stuff get put down at the bottom. Doesn't make any sense. I digress. It's rigged against us. So that's when you have to think about, what can I do for myself to get through this season to plan for something greater in life. So that's something to think about there, and don't worry. Again, this is all temporary. You will find your thing. And when you do, it's going to be everything and more than you imagined. You were going to have this sense of freedom, this sense of like ownership that will transcend you in a way that no other job that you've done in the past could. So just think about that. Think about that for a second, that this is temporary, right? And I have to tell myself that quite often. I look at a lot of things that give me advice. Like today I saw something that was like, you need to learn to become comfortable with people rejecting you. And at that point, when you become comfortable, then you're going to level up. And that saying it feels right. It definitely feels right, because there are times still where I allow that rejection to get to me, and then I want to be like, I'm going to email this person. I'm going to tell them what a fucking idiot they are and all this shit. And I stop myself. I don't do it, because it's like, look, I got rejected. Clearly, this wasn't in the cards for me. Clearly, I wasn't meant to do this thing. Like, and it could be for a number of reasons. It could be because not the right job. I'd be working with the wrong people. It could also be that it'd be a comfort job. It would be something that I would get into and then stick with for 20 years because I got comfortable with a salary and a consistent schedule and all that stuff. And I didn't want to take those risks to better myself in life. I just decided to stay complacent with whatever it is I chose. And that's not living. Like, we're going to live for retirement? Like, no, we should be taking risks and putting it all out there and gaining skills and learning and building things that we can benefit ourselves with, but also like our family and our friends and all that. Like, careers, these salaries, these 9-to-5 jobs, they're not built to make things better for your family. They're not built to make things better for your friends. They're built to keep you within that lane so that you don't stray off. And I think about the season thing, where I'm in in this hole at the moment, I think when I really dive into it and think about it, it's like it's kind of better to be in this hole because I'm learning more. I'm becoming more aggressive with things. I'm focusing on building something to last and not just to make money fast or to get rich or anything like that. Like it's something that is going to help me live my life the way I want to. Build the structures and all that stuff for what it is that I want. And no other job, no salary job would be able to do that. So something just to think about there. Now I know I'm probably going off on a rant, but I needed to get that out and talk about it, not just for myself, but just to put that out there and to give you advice as well. Because if you're in a spot right now, like, hey, me too. We're in this together and we will figure it out. So hopefully that this was helpful. You know, shit happens, things will get better. You just have to stay positive and just keep looking towards the future and keep planning. And then when the time is right, where you feel it, or even if you don't feel it and you just execute on whatever it is that you want to do it, and then next thing you know, it takes off, and then there's your future. Like, if you had to seriously sit down and think about your future, where do you see yourself 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Like, if you just got a job at a company, do you see yourself sticking with them? Are you going to be happy sticking with them in the long run? Or are you going to be happy doing something for yourself? Just putting that out there. Just saying. But yeah. Well, that's all I got, my friends. My nice little rant there. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you'd like me to discuss on this channel, feel free, leave it in the comments. I'll talk about it. Even though I'm not coaching CrossFit anymore, I can still talk about CrossFit. I am still a level 1 certified CrossFit coach. I can still talk about all sorts of things. So just leave it in a comment and yeah, we'll go from there. Anyways, until next time, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. Take care.